Good morning. This is lit up. Okay, try again. Good morning, church family. How are you? I've been working on this Healthy Hints for now almost a month and a half. And I started by writing all the crazy things that I'm seeing with this COVID. And by the time I got finished, I was depressing myself. So I had to scrap that whole thing and start over. But one thing that I did want to point out that I've just been dismayed about during this, because it does fit with my topic today, which is chemicals, 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 is how many medicines have been thrown at COVID that I realize that this is a new virus, and medical experts did not know what to do, but they have been using some medicines that are just beyond belief at what they're deciding to do. They haven't even made medical sense. And so I've been even more strengthened in my convictions that Ellen White's counsel to avoid drugs is very timely for us. I just want to share a couple of those before I start on the rest. Sorry, I didn't have the clicker on. All right, our people should become intelligent in the treatment of sickness without the aid of poisonous drugs. Many should seek to obtain the education that will enable them to combat disease in its varied forms by the most simple methods. Thousands have gone down to the grave because of the use of poisonous drugs, who might have been restored to health by simple methods of treatment. Water treatments, wisely and skillfully given, may be the means of saving many lives. And when we look back at the influenza pestilence that was 1918, is that the correct year? We know that the people that received the water treatments definitely survived at a much higher rate than those that didn't. Experimenting in drugs is a very expensive business. And I have to stop there because I have been appalled that they have been giving hydrochloroquine to the COVID victims. That's a medicine that's frequently used for lupus, so I'm very familiar with that medicine. And I have chosen to not take that medicine because the side effects are just horrendous. If the illness doesn't kill you, the medicine will. So anyway, carrying on with what Ellen White says, nothing should be put into the human system that will leave a baleful influence behind. The intricate names given medicines are used to cover up the matter so that none will know what is given them as remedies unless they consult a dictionary. And you might not even be able to figure it out then. Educate away from drugs. Use them less and less and depend more upon hygienic agencies. Then nature will respond to God's physicians. Pure air, pure water, proper exercise, a clear conscience. Many might recover without 1 grain of medicine if they would live out the laws of health. Drugs need seldom be used. Okay, so I'm going to sort of switch gears. Even though that's excellent advice, I do not want to focus on COVID today because summer is here. Happy summer. Today is the first day, even though it doesn't look like it outside. And yay. And with our warmer weather, especially after a mild winter, we're now faced with another kind of pestilence. Pests. Fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, all the creepy crawly things. And at first I thought it was my imagination that they seemed to be getting worse until my recent experience with getting bit by a tick myself, and then a week later finding one on my dog. So I'm pretty sure it's not my imagination. So I've tried the chemicals. I hear a lot of you hollering, DEET, Connie, haven't you heard of DEET? And yes, I have. I'm not going to give a lengthy discourse on DEET because there's pros and cons to it, and depending on who you talk to, whether it's safe or not. But I've tried those chemicals, and first off, they make my animals sick, and second, they set off my allergies like crazy. So the trade-offs don't seem quite right. I can use chemicals and be sick, or go without and have bugs. So I have decided to do some research to figure out What could we do naturally? And of course, there are tons of things. God has not left us helpless. So we can do natural repellents. I was amazed to find out about cedar oil. It is a non-toxic natural tick and insect repellent. And not only does it repel ticks, it kills them. So I was excited to hear about that. Where has cedar oil been, or where have I been that I haven't heard of cedar oil? And it's okay to spray it directly on your clothing and skin, and it's safe for use on humans or pets. Now, you can make a homemade tick and insect repellent. I'm going to leave that recipe up there for you for just a minute if you want to write it down. The one caution I have for this is if you are like me, citronella sets off your allergies. Terrible. But this really does work because we know citronella will really do the job. The next one is eucalyptus oil. It is known as an effective tick repeller and killer. And I've given you a little recipe there too. And if you can't get all these down before I pass by, just send me a text and I'd be happy to send you whatever recipe you would like. But when you mix the distilled water with 20 drops of eucalyptus oil, and then you shake it really well, and you can spray it on your skin, on your pants, your shoes, and it's safe to use on dogs, although you need to dilute it more if you're going to use it on your pets. The one that was really new to me is neem oil. I didn't even know what neem was, but that's actually a tree that grows in other parts of the country, and it is super effective at repelling and removing ticks. You just add several drops to the palm of your hand and you rub it on your exposed skin. You can also dilute it. There's our tick picture. Because if you have a tick, you need to carefully remove it, and I'm not going to go into details on how to do that because it's gross to me. I make Larry do it. But you want to make sure that you get the head out. That's always a concern. But using neem oil, if you put a drop or two of neem oil directly on the tick will pull itself out because it hates the neem oil so much. So I'm going to be on the hunt for some neem oil. The next natural repellent is apple cider vinegar. And you know, we've used apple cider vinegar for a lot of things, and you can spray it on your clothes. But personally, this is probably my last choice because I don't care much for the smell of apple cider vinegar, and I really don't want to walk around smelling like that all the time. But it does work. And here's a recipe for you with 2 cups of water and 4 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And then they do also add some neem oil to that to increase the effectiveness. Certain aromatherapy essential oils also work good. They smell great to us, but the ticks hate the smell of lemon, orange, cinnamon, lavender, peppermint, and rose geranium. So they don't want to latch on to you if you smell like any of those things. And the one caution for the essential oils is that they're not recommended for use on your cats. And then the last one that I want to share with you is garlic. All right, we thought we had taken enough garlic to avoid COVID, but don't stop. Regular consumption of garlic or garlic capsules reduces the risk of tick bites. And the garlic causes the body to excrete a scent that ticks hate. Unfortunately, you cannot feed it to your pets. So don't stop taking the garlic. All right. Oh, just a word of warning for dogs. Garlic, as well as onions, contain thiosulfate, which is toxic to dogs, but not to humans. So with all of that in mind, I've gone on a hunt to try to find some products, and that's what's in my bag here. So I'm going to show you just a few. I found a natural, DEET-free tick repellent, and it contains cedar oil, it contains lemon. It contains cinnamon. I cannot read all the fine print up here, but about half of what I've shared with you is contained in this. You can find this online, by the way. Also found this handy-dandy flea and tick yard and garden that you can spray on your yard once a month, and it will kill all the fleas and keep your yard insect-free for a month. And it's all natural ingredients. I needed a table up here. The last one I wanted to share with you is called flea and tick wipes. These are geranium flower scented, and you use them on your pets before you go walking, as well as if they are having fleas. Oh, that's not the last one. Here is a DEET-free repellent for dogs, and it too, the major ingredient is cedar oil. So check those out. I know that I'm sort of new to trying to find these kind of things, and I'm sure you have a favorite recipe or trick that you have, so I'd love to hear from you, whatever it is. But I do want to share with you one last quote from Ellen White that I thought was fitting with this. She says, "I write these things that you may know that the Lord has not left us without the use of simple remedies, which when used will not leave the system in the weakened condition in which the use of drugs so often leaves it. In regard to that which we can do for ourselves, there is a point that requires careful, thoughtful consideration. I must become acquainted with myself. I must be a learner always as to how to take care of this building, the body God has given me, that I may preserve it in the very best condition of health." So my challenge to you for this week is that, yes, we should all be continual learners, and I hope that you will have a healthy, pest-free summer. God bless.